So today, I watched Miss Christine's reel on Instagram, and then I also watched Stylish Curves. I'll leave her information down below so you can check out the video where she was giving her opinions on the whole plus size thing and the body movement and all, body positivity movement and stuff like that. So one of the first things that she mentioned that really stood out to me is that there was not a lot of credit given to the women a couple of years ago that really were doing plus size everything. And because of that, the whole plus size movement started where they were able to carry more clothes, and certain companies were able to bring up plus size items in store and online and stuff like that. So I just want to take a minute to give her credit and to give other women credit who really pushed that whole plus size movement and things like that. Because there was a time that certain stores, like I think she meant ASOS and Fashionluvbee or something, did not carry plus size way a couple years ago. That was a change that they made based on, a lot of these influencers and stuff like that. So the other one was Miss Christine's video, and her whole thing was that plus size brands are disappearing. And in the comments is where I usually go, and there were some interesting comments. So the ones that stood out to me were I'm going to discuss. So one of them was somebody said that, the plus size brands are disappearing just like the DEI movement or DEI programs. And I was like, yeah, typically companies jump on the bandwagon for stuff when it's a financial gain. And the minute they don't see that, they're out of it, which is, it makes sense. But for, she was saying that, I'm not a trend, this is my body. And she's been plus size for many years. And it's not something that she's just doing for trends. She's really passionate about it because she constantly discusses something related to plus size. And so she was like, yeah, this is not a trend. You don't just get to say, hey, we're going to carry plus size now. And then the minute it's not doing well, you just cancel it because you're canceling people. You're canceling people that are plus size when you do that. So, for example, Old Navy, I remember, came up with a whole ad where they were going to carry all the plus sizes in store. And then the minute I remember going there, I think the first week of that, and the lady was like, no, you have to go online to buy that. And I was like, oh, okay, what happened to the items being in store? So that was funny to me. So yeah, typically that's what companies do. They jump on stuff and when it benefits them financially. And so unfortunately, plus size is one of those things where people will jump on and then later on, when they don't gain financial or anything, they're done with it. So that has happened. And she listed all the companies, I think, that are pretty much are leaving and they're done. And then one person was saying how, I think people that were 2 plus size models were mentioning how they used to audition left and right. And now they can't even find a lot of brands to go audition for because they're gone, And so that was really interesting. So the other comment that I saw was about Ozempic, and people were going in on this one lady that said the Ozempic has to do with this, and it's true because a lot of people did lose weight on Ozempic and are no longer plus size, and some women that were plus size before now really want nothing to do with the plus size movement, and they are attacking other women who are plus size, which is weird, So it's like Miss Stylish Curves was talking about this. She was saying like it's other fat people that are actually attacking fat people, which is weird because you think they would be like supportive and stuff like that. But like the whole Samara and what's her name, Takara thing, where she literally was like, well, I'm a 1X now. You can get to a 1X too. And it's like, you're still plus size at the end of the day. What are you talking about? So that was one of the interesting things that somebody said, like, yes, the Ozempic, people are losing weight, people are no longer plus size, but also these people that were plus size that are done with it, they're not even caring about the movement anymore. Because to me, the average size, I read that the average size is a 14. So even if you lose weight and get to a 14, 12, you're still kind of plus size. Even though it's a regular size in a way, it's still plus size, so you're still within the movement, Another thing that somebody brought up is that the fashion industry is really saturated with men designing. So they decide what's attractive. And the attractive person is a woman that's in shape, that's slim, that may be blonde, with blue eyes, and that's the ideal. And, there's, other women of color that are, thicker, we have butts and we have thighs and all that. So when a designer is designing, they're thinking, oh, this is what's attractive to me. This is what I'm going to promote. This is what I'm pushing out there. So I'm not going to put plus size women on the runway because that's not ideal. It's not attractive to them, right? I remember watching Sherry, like Sherry, on her Sherry. That's my African name, Sherry, and she had a guy that was making a lot of her clothes, and they were beautiful and they were so put together. I was like, oh my gosh, we need more designers like that. I remember Cristiano, whatever his name was trying to do that as well. But again, I don't even know how his brands are doing now. But if we had more people that maybe plus size, more women designing, then maybe we would not even have this issue to begin with. We'd have way more clothes available and stuff like that. So that was a really good comment. I like that because people don't even think that. I think the first bra was invented by a man, and the bra was uncomfortable. It was wires and all this stuff, and later on, people are like, no, that's not how a bra should be. And like, how about you ask a woman what do they need in a bra before you design it. So that was a really, really good comment. The other thing that this comment has come up a few times is that allowing plus size brands to exist or plus size clothing to exist means you're encouraging obesity, and I disagree with that. Just because I'm for plus size bodies and for them having more clothing and more access and more options, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that it's okay to just abandon your health and not care about your body. That's not what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, some of us are built differently, okay? I'm not going to say that we're, how people say you're big boned or whatever, but some people are just built differently. For me, like even when I'm a slim person, I'm always going to be built a little bit bigger because I'm taller, and I'm just built a little bit more bigger, even if I'm losing weight and I'm smaller, I could, and go down to like a large, extra large, which is where I want to be. I'm still not going to be a smaller person. So don't make your clothes based on the ideal of somebody maybe being a white woman or somebody who is a slimmer build and assume that that's where everybody's going to fit, because that becomes a problem, because there's actually women that are smaller and that are in shape and still have the same struggles, for example, because they have a butt. Some women have a butt, even though they're slimmer everywhere else. So they always have to go up sizes. So it's not just about, oh, this is my ideal, this is what I think is attractive, let me design that and that's it. That's not ideal, We all want to be looking cute and put together and all that stuff. Like, don't just eliminate everybody else and just focus on your ideal, So that's my whole argument. I'm not like here saying it's okay to let your health go. No, still exercise, still eat well, still do what you need to do. But if that's your body, it's your body, and it's whatever, So that's been my whole thing, And so it was really interesting in the comments and just reading, and that whole argument has always been brought up about, people that are promoting plus size this, plus size that are encouraging people to be obese and all that. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just encouraging people to have options, because you never know what can happen at any moment. Medications, thyroid issues, like there's health issues that can come up that can cause you depression, can cause you to gain weight and be bigger. Sometimes there's people that don't even want to get out of their house because they are clinically depressed and they're being treated and all that, and the weight gain can come along. You should be able to go to the store and be able to still buy clothes, at least to get you through that until you work on whatever you need to work on to lose the weight. That's my whole thing. It's like, we should still have options, It's not about encouraging obesity, Nobody is saying that, your health is not important, And if the doctor tells you, hey, your health is being affected because of your size, blah, 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 okay, then you have to work on it, So it was just interesting, and I totally agree with Miss Christine that, yes, plus size brands are disappearing. I've noticed it. People jump on the bandwagon when it's for financial gain, and it's just like, it's unfortunate, because a lot of women in that comment also were asking, like, what are some stores that are carrying plus size? Because there's women out there who don't even know that there's way more plus size clothing than it used to be. It's way better, because that's another thing that Stylish Curves was mentioning. There's way more brands now that are carrying plus size than before, which is good. But it's not a lot. It's not a lot the way we would like to, but it's there. You just have to search way more. And I even did a reel. I'll maybe leave a link below of stores and online that I've shopped at, or stores online mostly that carry plus size where I've shopped at. So you guys can check it out if you are like, I don't know where to buy clothes for plus size and stuff like that. All right, guys, I'm rambling.